So you see, your story is the story of the 21st century. I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and like the guys, the young people who reached out, they're afraid of being cancelled for all the things they do, because all the things they do are on social media. Okay. All the things I did in my time were on the road. Right. Me playing ball with my friends, go fishing, go bed catching, go playing basketball. Hey, I was always out playing or reading. Okay. You guys, your playground is on social media. Okay. So the question is this. There are good and bad aspects of social media. Okay. So, see, for you being a child of social media, okay, can you itemize the positive and negative impacts of social media in everyday society today?
Definitely. I think one of the main positive things, if you look at, the stories of like social media, one of the best stories that I think, which is common everywhere you go, not just in Kenya, not just in Africa, all over the world, is the story of love, for instance.
Okay.
It's been so easy, for instance, to find love. I don't know about like your generation, like, when you're going to seek, love. But look at today, there's so many people who found their partners, who found their wives on this same internet because of the people who are afraid to reach out to the to the opposite sex, or you admire someone but then you're afraid to reach out to them. That, I feel, for me, that's like the story of love.
Okay.
How it's just made it so easy for people to find love and to reach out. But also I find that in our communities, and I'll take you back. I don't know so much about Nigeria, but I know a place from one Wizkid song, Oju Elegba, which I think it's a slam.
Yeah,
it's a slam.
Lagos,
and
yes.
So I find that song Oju Elegba, because I related with it because it's like where I come from.
It's
it's
just
like a slam.
A portion of a road in Lagos.
Oh, I see.
Similarly, yeah.
Yes, but now look, so a place like Korogocho, where I grew up, it's very marginalized. The government did not provide, basic services, hardly. So when social media came, or at the rise of social media, it was a venue where people could complain, or where people could highlight, like could address their plights and reach out to the government, to those people in government. You're a member of parliament, you can easily tweet at them, or you can easily send them a message on Facebook, tell them about that road that they're not constructing, tell them about that hospital or insecurity. I find that those are the positive things, that you can advocate for causes that you believe in. Like there's a company, let's say a public company, that is not serving you well. What do? Today, I post something about a good example is the day I went to a bank in Nairobi, and the bank, I think it had, of course, it was fully staffed, but unfortunately, the tellers, I think only like 2 people were working, only 2 people were working, yet there's fully staffed. So there was a long queue inside bank, and I'm supposed to pay for my tuition fees for university. I was in undergraduate, but no one. So I have to wait. I think I was there for like more than an hour, something which ideally was supposed to take 10 minutes, So I tweeted. Then guess what? Within a few minutes, everyone had come back to work. because I tagged the CEO of the bank. I tagged
Wow.
the CEO of the bank, and they knew me since that day on. Like whenever I would come, there was someone who and I was just a kid. I was just this
Yeah.
kid, in my
See,
and who would come and
you
serve.
you
But now,
have been
see, look
you
at
have
that.
been you have been doing great things as a kid. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that day, for instance, it's the best thing was that there was an older woman. That's why I felt bad. There was an older woman, like, I don't know, maybe in her 70s or 80s, who was also in the queue,
Yeah.
you know. So, but after a couple of minutes, all these people, the line started moving and we were being served. And I went back to school. I believe everyone went on with their lives.
Yeah.
So look at that, for instance.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, this internet, which has given us so much good, is also the place that today you have to watch out what you're saying.
Yeah.
You have to be careful who you are, what you support or not support, your
Yeah.
opinions. You cannot just freely express your
Express it.
opinions. Yeah, and because whatever you say, you will be held accountable for your words, whether it's a cause that you believe in, because whether you want it or not, anything in life, let's be honest, anything in life, there's someone else who's always going to be disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
I tell you I like orange, someone else will tell you, why do you like orange? There's a problem with you. So it's also become a place where you have to be really careful about what you're saying, about who you're supporting, about and for instance, in the West or here in America, for instance, the cancel culture is so huge.
Yeah.
Where people will do everything to even dag. So your slightest rising, you just, let's say today you become an MP or something happens to you, people, if you are in the US, people will go back to tens
to
like
when you're a teenager or even a thought like possible.
Even go back, see like what kind of a person you are. Unfortunately, people forget that even today, the person that you are yesterday is not the same person that you are today, So, but that's the internet, I believe in. It's become a place where imperfections are not welcomed. You have to be perfect.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in the eyes of people on social media, and something that I said in the article, for instance, it's the internet forms it's like a court of public opinion, whatever you say, as long as people have twisted their mind or they're holding a certain position about you, mindset about you, that's it. You cannot you cannot win. I believe that's the biggest
negative
cons of social media.
You see, yes, technology is good.
Yep.
I'm not big on social media, okay? And I've been going there for the last more than a decade, but I've actually become more active 5-6 years ago. Okay. And what worries me, okay, what worries me is these young Africans going on social media, I see them taking the post on social media as their science and history lessons. Okay. And I'm concerned because many of them are listening to people who they don't know. and somehow they think these guys are experts. They're science teachers, they're history teachers. And I think, yes, see, internet is very good. You can learn a lot of things. I mean, I've learned a lot. Okay? But what I do is that any speaker that attracts my attention, what I do is to check out if he has books. Okay. And I buy his or her books, because to write a book, someone needs to do some research.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. And an internet personality who talks a lot on this on the internet, but doesn't have the patience to sit down and write a book on those things he has been speaking so boldly on the internet. If I see that, I just cut the person off, because if you're that good, if you are so confident in your assertions on social media, write a book.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. And because if you have something that you think the world need to, yes, I know a lot of young people like you, you guys say your generation do not read very, very much. Okay. And that's a big deal for us, because for us Africans, most of the things we need to learn are written back in books, and we need to read them. Okay. But at the same time, your generation worldwide don't actually read a lot. Okay. But yet I still maybe it's my being, maybe I'm too old, maybe I'm too old, but reading a book is something I encourage.
Yeah.
So social media is good, but we need to be careful. We need to be careful.
Definitely. On that note, I think if I can add something where you said, when you find someone that you're interested in, you go and research about them, whether they've published a book or something. I find that unfortunately the other thing about social media is that people have an opinion on everything. People have become expert on today. Let's say football.
That's my point.
There's an expert. Corona. Everyone is an expert, and you're like, why don't we just read, from the medical experts? Why don't we read from the doctors? So, for instance, me as a journalist, I have no right, I have no authority on any medicine.
Yeah,
I shouldn't post, give my opinions about, corona or how to deal with it, because no, I don't know. Exactly. The much I can share is the much I can do is share maybe the work of other experts, like a doctor.
Exactly.
But personally coming out to, contribute or give an opinion about, issues that I have no authority in, then it doesn't make sense. I'm misleading people.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's one of the things that you find on these spaces online. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. That is difficulty, and many people online do not actually know who is the expert, or they just take one thing one person said, swallow it and run with it. That's a difficulty. Yes.
And that's what also has caused, it's somehow spurred misinformation.
Yeah,
because you tell me something without even verifying it, I'm immediately retweeting, sending it out.
Exactly.
Someone else reshares it.
And
so within
somebody
a
who
couple
trusts
of minutes,
you, somebody who trusts
yes,
you think, Idris
yes,
said this. That must be the truth.
say this, so it might be. I think that's the problem. Yes, that's really the problem.
Yeah.
Because that's really the problem, and it spars misinformation. It stocks the fire of misinformation, and you know, it just becomes a place where, even look at like political bigotry, for instance. Like it's also very easy to cause hate, you know.
Yeah.
Which is really wrong. Yeah.
So they're good, bad, but we just need to be careful. We just need to be careful. And for me, the way to be careful is to go and get a book. So, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. Yeah.